Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. By using our link, you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. So, Naz, as a therapist on BetterHelp, what has your experience been like?
I've been doing it since January of 2021, and it's been really fun and exciting. I've been able to reach clients all over the United States and the world. I've had good relationships. I've had folks that I've had for a couple months and a good handful where I've had for almost 2 years now. So it's magnificent. I've enjoyed my time and my clients. I love them.
Awesome. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel the most comfortable. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/DSP or choose Different Spectrums podcast during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Hey everybody, we back again.
We're back. We're live.
Where are we live from? Over there.
We're
Pigeon
live from
Forge.
Arkansas.
Pigeon.
Oh, and Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon.
Pigeon Forge in Arkansas. There you go. Both of you.
Real country.
There you go. I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Nas.
All right.
You heard it.
Remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it.
A good thumb.
So, today we have special guest. They are a licensed professional counselor, as well as a public speaker, and also the author of their book called Hello, Anxiety. Welcome to the show, Heidi Dennis. Welcome.
Hey, glad to be here.
All the way in Arkansas. Welcome.
Yeah.
Go Arkansas State. I don't know.
Razorbacks. Razorbacks.
Go Wild
Go
Hogs.
Hogs.
I have no
Go
idea
Hogs,
what they're
yeah.
called.
Yep. There's people
There you
that live in Arkansas. Go figure.
Yeah.
I was just woods. I was just woods. I didn't know.
That was only racism.
Okay, well, woods and racism, they kind of go together.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Anyways. So no. All right. So well, actually, before we even, actually, no. So the topic or the movie that we're covering today is actually Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo. We're going to be talking about anxiety as well as avoidance, overprotecting. Um, some clients that Nas and maybe even Heidi has that kind of correlate with this,
Sure.
and as well as living just a happy life after you kind of adjust to your anxiety and start living with it instead of just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Heck
Boom.
yeah. Heck
That's
yeah.
professional right there.
Yeah.
And before we actually get into the show, so at the time of this recording, the news of Akira Toriyama's death actually just hit. The creator of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I feel like we have to bring that up mainly because A, big fans over here, A, and then B, I know a lot of our fans were big fans of all the materials that he created.
Yep.
So just wanted to give a little time to that and just hope that, hope that his family does well and hopefully, the fan base overall can kind of come together even more than they already have, because the community for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z has been immaculate, and it's obviously um, that he influenced a lot of things, not only in pop culture, but just in all these communities as well. So, yeah.
For sure. I will do a nice little thing for them after we do the whoop whoop. I was gonna say first time I saw a lot of black and brown folks watching anime was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was the introduction for anime for a lot of our cultures, people of color, but I know that was the main one we were eating when we were younger.
Oh yeah, definitely. Whenever it was on like Toonami or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was anytime I watched it. And then, it was just so great to watch. I'm a huge Goku guy. And so, I think that it's pretty amazing just the fact that it's spread out this much. It started in like 1984
Yeah.
and it's still
Wow.
going strong today. So,
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, I saw a lot of people hurting on Instagram and social media and some friends. So yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. That was a good one to bring up.
yeah.
Yep.
You watch Dragon Ball, Heidi?
I have not. No, I feel bad, but I'm
Well,
going to now.
gonna
I'm
cut
going
that.
to
All
now.
right.
I'm going to now.
It's,
So many autistic people are gonna be DMing you.
Shoot.
how dare you? um,
Read it. All right. Anyways, Nas, anything before we get to the show?
I'm really excited about this one. No pressure, but I feel like Heidi, you see public speaker now, so I expect you to be able to talk some shit. At least answer Spencer. I called you Colin. Spencer's questions.
Always get your white guys mixed up, don't
Well,
you?
hey, we were just at the supermarket a minute ago, and I said, Colin, anyone asked?
What does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with me?
He's stuck on my brain. I said, we were at the supermarket. I said, if anyone asks, this baby's ours.
First of all, that's the whitest baby of all time.
All
time.
The one white lady in the supermarket. I said, yeah, we got toys at the house. She's like, oh, she's just looking at us like she's like, they're gay as hell. Yeah.
We.
The checkout lady, she just kept talking to Colin. I'm like, that's my baby. She just looked at us.
If you don't know, people, the baby is blonde with like the bluest eyes you've ever seen.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
She's not mine. She takes after her dad.
A certain dictator's dream.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
So the show. Really excited about this one. We're going to do a lot of talking about anxiety. I think there are a lot of clients will relate to Nemo, not only because of maybe their parents and the dynamics and the obsessiveness that, some folks could say he's personality disordered, anxiety, OCD disordered. Then it messes with Nemo. Also, they have a disability. So I think a lot of our folks will relate to Nemo because of the disability. Folks of color could relate to Nemo also, right? Because you always have something tied behind your back. You always have to fight against things. So I could see them being a very powerful figure and a positive figure for folks to look at. So we're going to have some fun with this. Heidi picked some wonderful scenes. I think specifically the Dory scene in the very first scene I'm going to have some fun with. So let's crack it open. Let's have some fun. Let's do the thing. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. There you go. She didn't get prepped for that at all.
No.
It was a very unenthusiastic whoop, whoop in my defense.
It was.
No.
Yeah.
It was very, very basic. All right, let's get into the show. Yeah.
I don't want to go to school. 5 more minutes.
Not you, Dad. Me.
Okay.
Get up.
Huh?
Get up.
I'm
Time
up.
for school. Time for school. Time for school. Time for school.
All right, I'm up. It's time for school.
Whoa.
Nemo!
First day of school.
Nemo, don't move! Don't move! You'll never get out of there yourself. I'll do it. All right, where's the brake? You feel a brake?
No.
Sometimes you can't tell because fluid is rushing into the area. Now, any rushing fluids?
No.
Are you woozy?
No.
How many stripes do I have?
I'm fine.
Answer the stripe question.
3.
No! See, something's wrong with you. I have 1, 2, 3. That's all I have? Oh, you're okay. How's the lucky fin?
Lucky.
Let's see. Are you sure you want to go to school this year? Because there's no problem if you don't. You can wait 5 or 6 years.
Come on, Dad. It's time for school.
Forgot to brush.
Oh.
Do you want this anemone to sting you?
Yes.
Brush.
Okay, I'm done.
Up, you missed a spot.
Where?
There. Right there. And here, and here. Oops, oops, oops. All right, we're excited. First day of school, here we go. We're ready to learn, to get some knowledge. Now, what's the one thing we have to remember about the ocean?
It's not safe.
That's my boy. So, first, we check to see that the coast is clear. We go out and back in. And then we go out and back in. And then one more time, out and back in. And sometimes, if you want to do it 4 times.
Dad.
All right, come on, boy.
Dad, maybe while I'm at school, I'll see a shark.
I highly doubt that.
If you get closer. Okay. Beat that! Come on, Nemo. How far can you go? Oh, my dad says it's not safe.
Nemo! No!
Dad?
Ugh, you're about to swim into open water.
No, I wasn't.
It's just a
gonna
good thing
go
I was
up, but
here.
Dad,
If I hadn't shown up, I don't
sorry,
know.
he wasn't gonna go. Yeah, he was too afraid. No, I wasn't.
This does not concern you, kids. And you're lucky I don't tell your parents you were out there. You know you can't swim well.
I can swim fine, Dad, okay?
No, it's not okay. You shouldn't be anywhere near here. Okay, I was right. You know what? We'll start school in a year or 2.
No, Dad! Just because you're scared of the ocean.
Clearly you're not ready and you're not coming back until you are. You think you can do these things, but you just can't, Nemo.
I hate you.
There's nothing to see. Gather, over there. Excuse me, is there anything I can do? I am a scientist, sir. Is there any problem?
You know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt things. He isn't a good swimmer, and I just think it's a little too soon for him to be out here unsupervised.
Well, I can assure you he's quite safe with me.
Look, I'm sure he is. But you have a large class, and he can get lost, from sight if you're not looking. No, I'm not saying you're not looking.
Oh my gosh! Nemo's swimming out the sea!
Nemo! What do you think you're doing? You're gonna get stuck out there, and I'm gonna have to get you before another fish does. Get back here! I said get back here now! Stop! You take one more move, mister. Don't you dare! If you put one fin on that boat, are you listening to me? Don't touch the boat. Nemo!
He touched the butt.
You just pounded your little tail right back here, Nemo. That's right. You were in big trouble, young man. Do you hear me? I'm coming, Nemo!
Get under me, kids!
Nemo, no! Nemo! Nemo, Nemo! No! No! Nemo, Nemo!
What are you talking about? Nemo, where's Nemo? I've got to speak with him.
What? What is it?
Your dad's been fighting the entire ocean looking for you.
My father? Really?
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's traveled hundreds of miles. He's been battling sharks and jellyfish, all sorts of...
That can't be him.
Are you sure? What was his name? Some sort of sport fish or something. Tuna? Trout?
Marlin?
That's it. Marlin, the little clownfish from the reef.
It's my dad! He took on a shark!
I heard he took on 3.
Three sharks?
It's gonna be 4,800 teeth!
You see, kid, after you were taken by Diver Dan over there, your dad followed the boat you were on like a maniac.
Really?
He's swimming and he's swimming and he's giving it all he's got. And then 3 gigantic sharks capture him and he blows him up and then dives thousands of feet where he gets chased by a monster with huge teeth. He ties the steam into a rock. What does he get for a reward? He gets to battle an entire jellyfish forest. But now he's riding with a bunch of sea turtles on the East Australian current, and the word is he's headed this way right now to Sydney.
Wow. Oh, what a good daddy.
He was looking for you after all, Sharkbait.
So thank you.
Hey, wait a minute. Well, wait. Where are you going?
It's over, Dory. We were too late. Nemo's gone. And I'm going home now.
No, you can't. Stop! Please don't go away. Please. No one's ever stuck with me for so long before. And if you leave, I remember things better with you. I do. Look, P. Sherman, 42. I remember it. I do. It's there. I know it is because when I look at you, I can feel it. And I look at you and I'm home. Please. I don't want that to go away. I don't want to forget.
I'm sorry, Dory. But I do. Time for school! Time for school! Get up! Let's go! Let's go! I'm gonna win!
No, you're not. I did it!
Oh, my own son beats me!
Come aboard, explorers!
So just then, the sea cucumber looks over the mollusk and says, with fronds like these, who needs anemones?
Well, hello, Nemo. Who's this?
Exchange student. I'm from the EAC, dude.
Sweet.
Totally.
But seriously, Marty, did you really do all the things you say you did?
Pardon me. Hello. Don't be alarmed.
Oh, we just wanted to make sure that our newest member got home safely.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week.
Keep up with the program, Dory.
Remember, fish are friends.
Not food. Bye.
Hold on, here we go. Next up, knowledge.
Bye, son! Have fun!
Bye, Dad. Oh, Mr. Ray, wait, I forgot something. Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
Dad, you can let go now.
Sorry. Now go have an adventure.
Goodbye! See you later, dudes!
Bye, Elmo.
Nemo.
Nemo. Bye, Nemo.
See you after school, Dory! Bye, Dad!
Bye, son.
Hey everyone, I wanted to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Two Nerds Candle Company. Not only do they have great products, but they are also giving back to a great cause. You can tell that they take a lot of pride in making their candles. My favorite is Spock's Monday Coffee. They are also donating 10% annually to support Women in STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. You can use our code DSP or go to our link tree to get 20% off your entire order. We think that this company is great, and we think you will too. So go check them out. All right, and we're back again.
We're back and we're live. Just as live as my dating life, because Spencer must have just said it's dead, so it's not. It's not live. It's so live it's dead. I had other things I can follow it up with. I'm gonna leave it there.
It's missing. It's not. You don't know where it is.
No.
You presume it's dead, but you don't know. Could be just in hiding.
It's like Schrodinger's cat, my dating life. You know, it's in a box, and you don't know if it's dead or alive, so it's both at the same time.
Awesome.
Same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, before we get into the Finding Nemo, Heidi, so you have a book. It's called Hello Anxiety, which it's from. Don't get me. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's mostly about instead of just acting like your anxiety is something to just get rid of, it's more about um, going along with it in a way, and then also just trying to just overall live with it instead of just like cutting it out of your life as a whole and
Yeah,
using it as a superpower, as you
totally.
say.
Totally. Yeah. When you learn how to work with it, when you learn how to listen to it, it can lead you amazing places, and it's trying to protect you. So you might as well listen to it
Mhm.
versus fighting it because it'll get louder if you try to fight it. So
Facts.
yeah,
Yeah. And so, why did you want to pick Finding Nemo for your topic for the day?
I saw just such a I saw anxiety transform Nemo's dad in such an amazing way through the story of starting out being overprotective and avoiding because of some trauma he had gone through.
Mhm.
Um, and shifting that to it's what made him brave, it's what made him chase after and find his son, it's what made him meet some amazing new friends, and it's what led him to inspire his son in the end to also be brave and face his own fears. So, I mean, it couldn't have been a better representation of everything I believe in when it comes to anxiety.
Yeah. And do you also believe the same when it comes to other disorders as well, like depression and everything like that? Or is it mainly anxiety that you're kind of focusing on when it comes to using it as a superpower?
That's a great question. I think, anxiety in particular, it's my favorite definition of it is it's our nervous system responding to a perceived threat.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
it's hardwired in every single one of us
Right.
to try to protect us, and we have to learn how to listen to it and know, okay, is that a threat or is this leading me to is this trying to tell me something different? When it comes to depression, I think depression can certainly lead us to connection and it can lead us to support. It can lead us to feeling less alone. Um, but I would say the way that you listen to it probably is a little bit different than how you would listen to anxiety, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, totally. Um, So for our show, we like to be relatable, especially to a lot of our audience who listen in. We talk about ourselves a ton. I was wondering, do you have anxiety?
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely have anxiety.
Mhm.
I also have a kiddo who's on the spectrum as well. He's 10 years old, going on 11. And so just yeah, walking with him with his own anxiety has been um, just life-changing for me, not in a
Mhm.
bad way.
Right. Do you see yourself as like the Marlin character in this? Or do you see like, because he's helping not only to try to help, Nemo or Dory out overall with her what she's going through with her memory loss and then,
Mhm.
with her anxiety, but then, he's also trying to fight off anxiety because like you said, he went through a very traumatic event of losing his wife,
Mhm. Yes,
fish
yes.
wife,
Fish wife
uh,
and fish
yes, to
baby.
being eaten by a
Yeah,
barracuda. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The bad day for Marlin.
Wasn't great. Wasn't
Yeah,
great, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. No, I definitely, as a parent of someone on the spectrum and with anxiety, I certainly have to fight the urge to overprotect and try to instead empower. And so that's a shift that I've had to really work hard on, and it's not one that comes naturally.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
balance. It's a balance for sure.
Yeah, it's total balance for sure.
Okay. And because I overall, like with my experience, like I have my mom's single mother, and you know, has to do a lot of the work herself and being somewhat of a mom and a dad at the same time, being a provider as well as just taking care of her kids too. Um, and I kind of see that in a way of like my mom is the same way as Marlon is just like overprotective in a way because it's like you don't really have any other support
Right.
to help you out. If anything does go wrong, you're kind of on your own in a way.
Yeah,
So I totally see that.
Yeah,
totally.
good
Yeah.
point.
Mhm. All right. Well, I kind of want to get a little bit more into your background. So
Yeah.
you say you have like over 12 years experience,
Yeah,
right?
12 years as a licensed professional counselor and
Yeah.
just published my book within the past year and kind of gotten into more speaking. So that's a thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, grew up in Ecuador, so grew up in South America. Yeah.
Damn.
So
All
I'm
right.
not always from Arkansas. I'm, a bit of a transplant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Southern has grown on me, but not where I got my
It was like,
start.
I think I'm
Yeah. Little do they know.
looks are deceiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, you Ecuadorian girl? Damn.
Not by blood, but
Undercover Ecuadorian.
undercover Ecuadorian, but I am an undercover Spanish speaker, so
Okay.
that's my secret weapon
I
sometimes.
did see that you are fluent in Spanish.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah,
like, okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, with how did you kind of get started in your mental health journey?
Well, I started out like right out of college,
Mhm.
ran a boys and girls club and kind of ventured into wasn't sure what I wanted to do, then ventured into working at an emergency shelter for teens, whether they were in foster care or they were kind of in a state of crisis. And then from there, I became a juvenile probation officer, which was, it feels like a jump, but it also felt like serving the same population and kind of helping them. And I got into counseling because I wanted to see if I could help them in a deeper way and kind of dig a little deeper before they got to the place where they were in trouble with the law. So
Mhm. Right.
yeah, so then that's how I started. That's went back to get my master's in counseling after working there, just wanting to make a difference. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and 12 years later, here I am.
12 years.
It's a journey right there.
12 years later, yep.
And throughout your profession, like now, is this like the coolest point where you're at, like job wise, career wise, or is it like, what's the next? What was the coolest job that you had? Or is this the coolest moment, or is the next the coolest moment?
Ooh, I want to say that this is the coolest moment, but I'm excited to see what comes next. I just
There you
jumped
go.
into private practice in January, and that's when I kind of started building my brand around speaking and writing more. So this feels super, super fun. And for you guys to find me on Instagram and reach out has been like, I've arrived. I've arrived.
It
Is
never
this as good as it
sounds.
gets? Is this the best that it gets?
You know,
Dr. Nas and Spencer, is this it? Is this my
I found.
I mean, it should be.
career?
No, it's probably gonna be your lowest moment. Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Lowest
Yeah.
moment.
All
We
up for
brought
me.
you back down. We're like, come back down.
Yeah,
here.
Okay.
there's no woman that's ever met me and said this is the highest moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like,
Noted.
I can't get
Noted.
lower. I
I
can't get lower.
All right.
Technically, I'm like the pinnacle of everyone's, jump off. It just gets better. So when they meet me,
There you go. There
I'm
you
just
go.
saying, I'm your lucky brown person.
Oh
Yes.
my god!
You're
Wait.
my Dr. Nas, you're my launching pad.
There
is
we
how
go,
I'm going
launching
to-
pad.
You're my
There
launching
you go.
pad.
Right?
Like, all up from here.
Yeah, you just step right over me with your whiteness. It's fine. I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, you didn't.
I'm
No,
joking.
you
Completely joking.
Oh,
And here we go.
Uh,
How many more brown bodies do you have to walk over?
my God.
Is this a gotcha interview?
Wow.
Let's talk about you and your race.
Say this was an intervention earlier, so
No.
now I'm starting to see it.
No, I'll pivot back. So,
Yes.
right, that was a
Yes.
joke for everyone. I'm being sarcastic. Y'all know that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm really excited. So, private practice stuff. I'm gonna cut Spence off. He'll go back into some questions in seconds. How's that been? I'm sure that's been a ton of anxiety building up to it because I'm getting ready to go nonprofit private practice.
Nice.
So, like, I'm getting started to do the paperwork. How you doing with it? How's your anxiety?
It started higher, but it was one of those things that it scared me more not to do it, and I had to separate what's a temporary fear and a permanent fear. And a lot of the things I was the most afraid of were the temporary fears of how am I gonna get back in network with insurance under this new name, and where's my office gonna be, and
Yep.
all that different stuff that get me a tax ID number and but all of those were temporary. All of those were things that once I figured them out, then I was good. And so once I realized a lot of things I was scared of weren't going to last, um, it was worth pushing through the anxiety to do.
Any symptomologies that you could let the guests know, or the followers, listeners know? So did you see that you were staying up late at night, freaking out, heart rate, sweaty, and feeling out things? Like any symptoms that you could like maybe validate other folks that had anxiety when they're going on to this new concourse, this new thing and journey
Yeah,
in life?
totally. Yeah. I did have a bit of a meltdown just waiting to hear back from insurance and such, and had this moment where I was feeling so overwhelmed that I just shut down, right? It's like everything just needs to stop. I just need to hit the pause button.
Yep.
Um, and just had to let that moment pass so that I could just be patient and walk the journey, see it through.
Yep. Thank you. Kick it
Yeah,
back to
for
you,
sure.
Spence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, with that, I think we're ready to get into the movie.
Real quick.
Nice.
Real quick. The book. So the book, is it just a regular book? Is it like kind of a memoir? Is it like worksheets? Is it case studies? What's kind of the formation
Yeah.
of the book? Because Spencer's the one that looked into it. I didn't ask him about it. What's the formation of the book?
So the formation of the book is I wrote my chapters short and sweet, and I did not use crazy big smarty pants language.
Right.
It feels like a conversation. It feels like a here's your main takeaway for this chapter, and the chapter might be like 4 or 5 pages.
Okay.
And here are a few reflection questions for you to consider at the end of each chapter. So I wanted it to be super accessible, um, feeling like you're just sitting and chatting with somebody about anxiety. There's some personal stories, there's some examples that I've seen in the office. Um, there's some talk of the nervous system, how to like scientifically what's
Some
happening in your
science.
body, but again, in an approachable way, just so you can understand yourself better.
Okay.
But yeah, it's an easy read if you can call a book about anxiety an easy read.
Hey.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I will put it in because now you'll be on our guest information. You'll be on our website, and I'll put your
Nice.
book in our Amazon book list for all readers that I recommend they check out for self-help.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Right. Right. With that, let's get into Finding Nemo.
All right.
So, first scene that we did, it's all about, it's the first day of school. First day of school. Nemo, very excited, ready to go. And then, of course, Marlin, not so excited.
Not at all.
No, not excited at all. Because then now Nemo has to go somewhere else and Marlin can't look over him 24/7. Right. So
Yeah.
it's a very relatable thing, especially when it comes to parents, and having that anxiety of leaving your kid in care of some people that you might not know that well.
Totally.
So, um, I think once we get first topic that we wanted to talk about was avoidance with that avoidance. So, could you go into a little bit of what you wanted to talk about on this subject, especially when it comes to avoidance and this scene?
Yeah. So one of the things that anxiety can lead us to do, not necessarily in a positive way, is to avoid things, maybe to micromanage, to try to control. Anytime you're trying to control something that's outside of your control, no matter what it is, you're going to experience anxiety. And I think Marlon was trying to control his son, and he was trying to control his son growing and learning and doing new things because it brought up a lot of fear in him.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Easy.
I don't have children, but what you hear is it's always like wearing your heart right out in the open. It's naked. It can be easily wounded.
Mhm.
And so his son, he's terrified, and he's really obsessive. I think the funny thing is when they go to they're in that bush or whatever, I don't know, the weeds, and they're in and out.
The anemone.
Yeah.
The anemone.
And then we in and out. Wait, one more time. In and out. You just try to figure it out. It's the most funniest, weirdest, anxious anxiety. Spence, I'm not falling for this laughing stuff. It's the funniest shit to me. The kid's like, "Come on, man, it's fine." Takes off. I am the therapist for Right College students, and I have a lot of parents and I hear all the stories, and they're tracking the kids on that Life 360. You know, it's intense. They can't leave the house, or if their parents, you know, hey, you're not in class, where you at? Or you're not at so and so. So I'm like, dude, you're fucking 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so, right, there is some coaching that goes on. Like, hey, kid, you know, hopefully no parents watch this, of college kids that I'm working with. I'm like, hey, man, we're going to get you a burner phone. We're going to put that Life app on that phone. We're going to leave that home. And we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out.
You ever heard of WhatsApp?
Yep.
Have you heard of it? It's great.
Yep.
Let me tell you.
We're about to get some burners, man. And leave your phone there, right? You get a little Obama phone. We're good. I actually had one back in the day. Shout out Obama.
Shout out to Obama. Shout out to former President Obama.
And I just the students will talk about their parents. I'm not going to swear on that part. And they'll talk like, I don't hate my parents. I don't hate my parents. And I'm like, I didn't say you did. Well, I'm just saying nothing but negative stuff about them. You know, it sounds bad. You can love your parents and like hold them accountable for some of the things that they've done to kind of like hurt you and make you super anxious. Like, that's understandable. And then I try to do my best after they vent to like walk them back to maybe figure out why their parents are like this.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can find some empathy, but not also so we can forgive it. So we can figure out how to combat it and set better, healthier boundaries by understanding their trauma and their issues.
Totally.
So that's where I was going with this scene with the in and out thing. I was just cracking up like, this dude. Guarantee you, if this fish got a burner, they got Life 360 on the kid.
Oh yeah, 100.
I know where you at all times. All times.
Yo, them snails on the street again, huh?
Oh. Okay. So going again, but all right. So then we skip to the next scene where it's all about Nemo and his friends going to touch the butt of
Yes.
the boat. The butt.
Hey,
That's a big butt.
Yeah.
And so and then of course Marlin swoops in and pretty much tells Nemo, like, you can't do this. It's not safe. Don't do it. It's having that overprotection, but at the same time, seems valid. Seems valid because, you know, and at the end of the day, it was a valid thing. It was a valid fear to have, right? So I guess kind of playing into that, like, the point of your book is to kind of have, in a way, just having those valid anxiety moments and being okay with them.
Yeah.
Did you kind of see Marlin as being overprotective in this scene? Cut out the fact, you know, that the scuba divers were there.
Right.
But overall, do you think he was being overprotective? And then overall, Nemo then says that he hates him,
Mm-hmm.
says that he hates his own dad at the end because he's being that overprotective. So kind of like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So, you know, back to the definition of anxiety, it's your nervous system responding to a perceived threat.
Right.
Sometimes there's an actual threat. And so it probably wasn't the best idea. That probably was a dangerous situation for Nemo to go and touch the butt, right? Touch the big boat.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, in that moment, his dad probably was, you know, operating in an appropriate way.
Right.
I also see kind of the shift at the end of the scene. Ironically, Marlin's anxiety is what causes him to chase the boat and go to find his son.
Right.
Anxiety is what caused him to start that journey. It's what made him brave.
Mhm.
Because no amount of anxiety of being out in that open water could stop him. And it meant facing that fear and reaching his son. So anxiety kind of turned into his superpower when he started chasing after him.
Yeah. I think of that scene. I think of a lot of folks that, well, they talk about it with the autism community, right? That pathological demand avoidance. So like someone tells you something like, fuck you. Your nervous system immediately deregulates and you don't want to do it. It's not because you're lazy or an ass. There's also a lot of students, this could be a little different, clients, humans, that you tell them something, it takes them a second to process it. So in that moment, the other person may get a little nasty and a little argumentative. Well, then they tell you again, and now nastier tone. But now I went from processing it to now like, forget you, I don't want to do it anymore. And then also there's just kids being kids. Like they tell you to do something that you immediately just don't want to do it because you're just being a kid. The fact where he does the little tap, right? He's don't you even tap. That is 100% me. My entire this little kid that was on the porch today, right? I had to like scoot him in. I said, "Come on back in the house. Come on, man." No. Boy, I'm gonna ask you one more time now. No. Yep. Well, I'm gonna pick you up and now you're here now. So kid goes, ouch. I'm like, well, children. Was it
yes.
Was it a processing issue? I don't know. What I think is the mama didn't taught their kid not to respect brown people. That's what it is.
Oh.
I'm joking.
See that one over there? Don't listen to him.
Don't do it. Not the big one.
Not that one.
Not that one.
I'd be like, yeah, no, you listen to him. You
listen to him.
Real good.
We were playing this game last night where you got a spell.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, it was like Scrabble. I'm like, come on now. You got 2 dyslexic people versus 2 people with like neurotypical. I was like, it's some bullshit. I got the highest degree here, and they're like, "Yep, just whoop my ass." I gave up after the first one. That's whatever, man. Y'all can play.
Couldn't play Uno or anything.
Yeah, Colin's looking up words on his cell phone because he can't spell either. Somehow I end up winning because he was spelling like 2-letter words. I don't want to get into it. It's funny.
Fork, and it's just spelled like a C. You're like, what?
Yeah, whatever. One of them, he put down "tis," like "tis the season." I was like, "Autism."
Oh my god,
it's not a word. Whatever. This scene leads me to a lot of different funny feelings about just wanting to not say yes to things.
Right.
And thinking that you can do it as a child that doesn't really understand the complexities of what's out there. What are the scary things? So, right, I'm being like a therapist now. When you're younger, you just don't know. And then as you get older, you get to like 7, that's that benchmark. And then you get to like that 13, puberty, 14, and you start to understand other people and how other people think. And then you start to relate and empathize, and you understand your place in the world. And so the kid's not at that age yet. But the dad is not only way past that, he's also had deep trauma. So I have empathy for the dad.
Totally.
I was wondering this. I'm going to throw it to both of you on this question when it comes to like anxiety and his superpower. Yes, I'll agree to some of that. But I'm going to go to the kid, Nemo. Do you think that he would be this protective of Nemo if he didn't have the wounded arm? Like if he was like a normal individual, quote unquote, wasn't disabled, do you think that he would still be? You think that he would? So that's a good answer. Heidi, what about you? You think he would be a little bit less, more, or the same?
He has a couple of layers that cause him to be more anxious and have his own, overprotective tendencies. One is his trauma, what he went through.
Yep.
So everything in him is trying to avoid that and not go through it again. And I think the other is the disability that he thinks I've got to protect him, right? He kept saying he's not a good swimmer. He's not a good swimmer. He's not a good swimmer, right? And kind of speaking that identity over his son, which wasn't necessarily true, right? His son could be a good swimmer. His son could, do hard things. So no, I think it's a couple of things that caused him to be more protective than he needed to be.
I like the way they also did it subtly in the way of just being like, no, he's not a good swimmer. Because obviously tons of parents have to deal with, kids with disabilities and things like that. And then just out of the gate, kind of telling them like they can't do anything, really stifles them, I think, mentally on what they can do. And so, I think that's why having like more at the end of the movie, you obviously see that he's a lot more positive about Nemo and his disability. And, he lets him do his own thing because he knows that he's okay. but it's also hard for Nemo to prove that he's okay if he's always going to be in this little box that his dad gave him. So it's like, how can I prove that I'm going to be all right to the world and I can handle everything if I can't get out and be exposed to the world, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And I think that's a huge point there. And obviously, I would hope parents don't have to like go through like that whole movie, like let's go through sharks and being in a aquarium in Australia and all that, just
Right.
so they can see that their kids are doing that. But I think it's also just doing like the little things and allowing your kids to really kind of explore a little bit more, but also make sure that there are boundaries to that, because this is a crazy world that we live in. So
Totally.
So
Totally.
Heidi, what do you think could be the impact of someone growing up with, you can't swim, you can't do this. Remember you're disabled. Remember that you're less. Remember that it's always going to be hard. How do you think that could positively or negatively impact someone? Because I want to kind of talk about that when it comes to, let's say, autism, ADHD, anxiety, but also comes down to gender sometimes. And me and Spencer just did a
gender,
podcast.
race.
We just did a podcast on Malcolm X, where it's very well known that the teacher said you can't be a lawyer because of this. So what is your kind of feelings on how they could be negative hearing all this all the time? You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. How does that affect someone?
Yeah, I mean, I think it certainly limits you and limits your sense of confidence in yourself. Um, I also think, sometimes, you see it in Nemo, it kinda causes you to break free as well. So you have that pressure building of you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't. And it's like, watch me, right? Watch me.
Happens.
And so it could, in the right temperament, could cause that let's see what I can do. Um, but I think certainly ideally it would be better to help your kid walk through some of these challenges and remind them, hey, you can do this, you can do hard things. Um, uh, it's sad that you have to go through the pushing down and you can't, you can't, you can't, in order to break free and show what you can do.
Yeah. It's like, how can we, for some folks, maybe we can support or affirm and validate, or just, like you said, walk them through it. So if it's
Totally.
learning how to ride a bike, I mean, how do we learn it with let's figure out how to do this with a disability.
Yeah.
Right. Let's figure out how to make this more accessible instead of just focusing on you're disabled, you're broken.
Yeah.
Right. Let's figure out how to make this real for you. And I think that's a lot what we do as therapists. Is everyone comes to us broken. Therapists don't like when I say that. Everyone comes to us broken. I think that everyone, including me, is broken.
Yeah.
Right. And new parents, students that come in, I said, they don't want to fuck up your kid. I said, well, congratulations. You're going to fuck up your kid no matter what. The question is, how bad is it going to be? You're going to be beating the shit out of the kid and they're going to be traumatized, or you might drop them every once in a while on the head like my best friend.
Right. Right. Yeah.
The other day he goes, you see that bruise on her head? I was like, Jesus Christ, kid, you're not giving her a shot to read. She's not going to be able to read. Besides the point.
I like the pictures. You're like, yes, you do.
Yes, you do, girl.
Yes, you do.
You read those pictures, girl.
Yeah, you read them good.
You read them real good. Oh, she been dropped so much, she's going to be smelling them. And I think that's just what we do as therapists is we try to build them up and find beauty in all these broken pieces and to make something like gorgeous out of it, to realize that they don't have to be perfect and to realize that if they're neurodivergent, they don't have to assimilate and lose everything of themselves. Yeah, I just posted something on, I was pissed off at work the other day. These doctors, they keep saying borderline personality disorder, their personality disorder. I'm like, this kid is 157% autistic. Could they also have some borderline personality disorder? Maybe. But you diagnose that just because the kid said one thing to you. They said one thing to you, which was a reaction that they felt because of a medication. And you, without any data and empirical stuff, personality disorder. Okay. But when I bring you Massive data points, screeners, family history, drug reactions, sensory issues, all of it. Now you know what you're talking about. Kid's not disabled. You can't diagnose unless it's disabled. I'm like, that is so bullshit. So I brought this up on Threads and I made a post, ton of comments, ton of likes, tons of people just like kind of trauma dumping, which is fine, about how they've been screwed over by medical professionals in the same situation. And we're always looking for disability when we're diagnosing or pathologizing or treating. But some of these things, we do it specifically to folks of color and women almost instantaneously without any fucking care. And it's really gross.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of inequity in healthcare, and we already know this between genders and race and all that. And autism is tough. I speak about it, right, because I see him as a disabled young person or a young fish.
Mm-hmm.
And I can only imagine on what type of pathologies they would put on this kid and the dad in the story without actually fully diving into what's going on and getting them to where they need to be. As Dr. Corey Yeager said, and I've always felt there's a lot of shitty therapists out there, a lot of shitty nurse practitioners, doctors out there that actually aren't listening to you. They're there and they're writing some shit down, they'll parrot it, but they're not listening to you, they're not seeing who you are, they're not doing the full assessment. They see the disability, that's it. You're just going to be anxious and good luck. That's not a way to treat a lot of folks. I got an email the other day. This is different. This is a kid with high anxiety, OCD. And I sent him an email, just a very kind email, just said their professional numbers now and their letters, because now there's a fucking doctor now. And they sent me back an email and said, I'm crying from reading this. I appreciate it. She said, hopefully you have a good night. They sent it like 3 in the fucking morning. I'm like, sleep. It was a wonderful email to read for someone I know who's struggling. And they said, you taught me that kindness can change a life. It's like, oh, shit.
Nice.
So maybe if you just treat people kind and you stop shitting on them and like, yeah, you're disabled because of your anxiety. Jesus Christ. Why would you do that?
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Well, at least he's still there. At least you didn't run out on the kid.
Oh my God.
Kid's disabled. I'm leaving.
You're right.
All right. I got a funny pivot. I swear I'm not going to take up much time. So this 10th grade football. Yeah, and then he played with us on the senior team too. We had this running back had one of them little short arms. One of them little baby arms.
Lucky Finn.
Yeah, a lucky Finn. That boy, he was a running back too. That boy never fumbled.
I bet not. He's holding on tight.
He was strong as shit, that arm. It's a strong.
Hey, you ever seen a scary movie too?
Yeah.
Same thing. It's my strong arm.
Dude.
It's just a baby hand.
Dude, you could not get that thing out of there.
I bet not. Hey,
bro.
Train it.
He was killing as a running back. I am poking some fun at this, but I guarantee you, most people like you can't play running back. Like you can't barely grab it. That thing would be in there, and he would be fucking gone.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. People would be roasting him, making fun of him, take it in stride, and then boom, he'd run you over. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty cool. Funny story.
I mean, you have a whole other layer of mentality once you have like a disability and you're trying to do like sports or anything else in life. You just have a whole different type of mentality that you have to get over. So
yep. Some things will break you in life, and then some things will make you a badass.
Yeah.
The question is which way we going, and I figured I would talk about that one because dude's a badass, and Nemo turned into a badass. So sometimes it's about walking through your journey and like actualizing who you are. I told a client the other day, so damn kid, you supposed to be way more fucked up than what you are, huh? I said you supposed to be like mentally, you supposed to be in the loony bin. So you got some fucking magic in you, some strength. I don't know what it is or what you drank, but this is fucking exciting to meet you. It's a privilege. Some folks are just awesome. And in saying that, that these folks are pretty tired as well. So we get into that in therapy. All right. Some funny stories. Let's go ahead and another pivot, next scene.
Get it. Next is the pelican scene.
Yeah.
Pelican. Gotta love pelican. Little pelican. Um, so I kind of want to know what made you want to do this scene. I know that for this is when Nemo finds out that his dad is actually looking for him, and he's actually hearing all the stories about how his dad is coming to find him and going to Australia, and then ends with Nemo. See, I want to say it's with Nemo grabbing the rocks and then trying to get out of the fish tank.
Yeah.
What I remember.
Yeah.
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 I think we may have cut it a little before that, so it'd be good to kind of keep watching that moment right after, because yeah, the pelican comes in and tells Nemo like these are all the things that your dad has done. These are all the ways that your dad's been brave. And at first Nemo doesn't believe it because that does not sound like my dad,
No.
right?
Right.
But he doesn't realize that his dad's shifted his response to his anxiety, and he's been fighting for him and facing his fears. Um, and yeah, it causes Nemo to be brave. He immediately picks up a rock and swims into the little
Little
cleaner for
fan.
the tank, right? And clogs it up so that they can all make their escape. So just hearing of his dad's bravery immediately had a positive impact on Nemo.
You got any stories? I just wonder if you got any stories, Heidi, about something like this,
Me?
or yeah, or
You
your.
can put me on the spot like that, Dr. Nas?
Hey, if you got any stories about clients, or maybe in your own life where you saw someone you were like, I can do that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You. Look at you. No, I'm just kidding.
I could be a brown man just like you.
Hey, 2024, you be fuck me off.
And you can do
Come
whatever you
at
want.
me.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, Heidi, you can do whatever you want.
yeah. I'll get you a couple tres leches. You'll have high blood sugar too.
Oh man.
Girl, lose some toes now.
I mean, I'll be honest, like I'm always inspired by the courage of my clients coming in to therapy. Of it's a hard thing to do. It's not something for the faint of heart, it's something that takes a lot of courage. And especially when, somebody comes into my office for the first time ever, that they've never been in therapy before. I had an 80-year-old woman come into my office and she'd never been in therapy before. And sh it was kind of during the time of, like, the Me Too movement, and she was realizing, "Oh, that stuff that happened to me,
Jesus.
that wasn't right. I should talk to somebody about that." And 80 years old, like
Wow.
60 plus years after she had experienced it, coming into therapy, and I was just blown away by her courage to do that. It was incredible.
Pretty dope.
Yeah.
Who's your hero? You got any heroes?
Oh,
I'm not gonna let you get off this.
you're not gonna let me get off this.
Nah,
Oh,
your
let's see.
clients can't be your hero. They
They
can
can't be
be.
my hero?
They can be, but
Aw.
I want to know.
It can be, but
It can
let's
Yeah.
let's get some likes on our reels, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Is
All
it
right.
is
I
it
like it.
is it parents? Is it professors, loved ones, partner? Is it someone that you've
I mean,
seen? I don't know.
I would say my parents are really inspiring. I mean, they picked up and moved overseas to teach at a school overseas when I was in the 6th grade, and that's how we ended up in Ecuador.
Yeah.
And to have the level of courage of, yeah, like we feel like this is the right thing to do, and we're gonna pack up and go, take our 2 kids with us.
And do it.
That was really inspiring, right? To
Yeah.
see them, yeah.
Make a
And so
change.
that, gives me courage to chase down my dreams too.
Do it. Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
feel like it'd be hard for them to shit on your dreams when they dipped out, right, and changed everyone's life. So
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep. They packed up Spence them kids when she was real young. Heidi's hated them ever since.
I haven't talked to him since.
I haven't talked to them since. Yeah.
English or Spanish. Haven't talked to him.
Yep. Y'all have fun.
Yeah. All right now. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I see how it is.
So question to everyone listening, following, liking. Think about who are the folks that you look up to or inspirational. or who you admire, or who you would like to maybe identify as and steal some traits. Folks that maybe push you to, visualize that you can do this, that you could be that. So representation, just representation. I want you folks to think about that, right? I think as Spence was talking, and then I asked you the question, I was like, no matter what, when you talk about bravery and shit like that, Pops, everyone knows in the podcast, Pops, lot of stuff. And so he'll tell me a few stories. I'm like, hey, man, if you can go through that, I can go through this. If my grandparents on my mom's side immigrated from Mexico with nothing and then built a life, I mean, maybe I can do this. My mom was on the farm picking cherries, 9 people in the bed. Like, I can do this. Yeah. Grandpa immigrated in 1940 in New York, right, with nothing. He was a nurse, came over here as a janitor. Then now I have his name, and now they call me Dr. Nas, which is really cool because that was his name. So I think about our ancestors. I think about a lot of folks. Sometimes it's stories. Sometimes I think about my prior self. Sometimes I think about my younger self, like I'm doing this for my younger self as well. Not just the strength that I have, but also just the innocence. So there's a lot of different things that you could look up to or want to be more like. I'll say one thing, then I'll be done. I think some clients I want to be like, is that's what you said. Like you just really enjoy and like inspired by them. Sometimes it's the ones that are super kind and innocent, just like the nicest fucking humans you ever meet. You know it when you see it. You're just like, Jesus Christ, kid. Are you actually this nice? They're like, yeah, I'm just being me. And I'm like, oh my God, we need to protect you. Who's got the Life 360?
Stay in the sea, anemone. Anemone.
It's funny because I got a couple kids like that now, and I've gotten to see them transition into like legit badasses through medication and a lot of narrative therapy. And I said, it's nice to meet you. This version of you that's not anxious and like wanting to die all the time. I like the damn too. Don't get wrong. I like them too, but this version, this version's pretty dope. Yeah, clients pretty cool. So now that I was just happy about clients, all my clients that are listening, go fuck yourself.
You gotta bring them up to tear them right back down.
We got work to do, so keep coming.
I got bills. Keep on coming.
It's all free.
And he's frozen. Yeah. God damn it. Okay,
frozen?
You're frozen for a second.
Oh, okay. I'm back.
You were. You're back now.
I'm back. Just like a cold sore.
It looked like you were a poster just pointing somewhere. Just like.
Well, it's good on my side. I got everything recorded, so I heard you all.
Oh, there he goes again.
It's acting weird.
Yep, he just froze again. Right. You just keep on freezing. All right, so the next scene is with Dory and Marlon. And then you can't find him.
Yeah, wait a minute, Spence. So I was getting everything that you were saying, but now it's acting weird. Can you hear me now? I see you laughing.
Well, now you do.
Yeah. So
You're good now.
I got literally everything until like that last little bit.
Yeah, you keep on like coming in and out.
It's weird because there's like literally no one in the house, so it shouldn't be messing up.
Well, you're in the middle of a trailer park, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Jesus.
You are. You are. It's not even a joke.
I know.
You literally said I walk outside, there's trailers there. So wasn't like, just trailers everywhere.
People just texting me, so his credit card's not working. Yeah, it's because he never buys shit. We're in Tennessee. All right, it looks like it's working now, so let's give it a shot now. Unless it's frozen.
Okay. Where did I stop?
The next scene.
Recap the scene. The next scene.
All right, I'll do that. Here we go. So next scene with Dory. It's almost the end of the movie, and Marlon thinks that Nemo is dead, Very sad scene. And then so now he's depressingly swimming back to his home. It's very slow swim. Just it's not as happy as it was before.
No.
Um, and so this is where Dory just pretty much begs for Marlon to stay and not to go. And she's trying to show off that she can remember things to show like, hey, don't go. I can remember stuff. Remember? I know stuff. So what about this scene really got you to want to play it? And then, yeah, let's just start with that.
Yeah. So one of the benefits that anxiety can give as we start to listen to it is it leads us to connection.
Mhm.
And I see that connection with Marlon and Dory that's formed. That a lot of times when we are going through something hard or going through something scary or through something sad, having somebody right there with us can be a game changer. Um, and obviously, Dory's wanting to hold on to that as long as she possibly can. And so that's why I thought this scene was important. Is that anxiety can lead us to connecting with other people, which actually can start to decrease our anxiety.
Yeah, to help you regulate.
It
So
does. Yeah.
there's certain people, my old boss used to say this thing called the soul nerve. So certain folks have this, right, this soul to them, this entity that can just relax your entire nervous system.
Mhm.
And she said that I was one of those folks that could do that. And then you start looking at other counselors, healthcare professionals, there's certain people that you're like, oh, I'm sitting with someone real. And then
Yeah.
there's some you sit and you're like, they're not there, they're checked out. Certain people you're going to talk to at the dinner table, they're not there, they're checked out. And not an ADHD checked out, like they don't give a shit and they're being disrespectful checked out. They're not paying attention to you because they devalue your human experience. And I think it's really wonderful to have people like that in your life. I feel like a lot of therapists are like, technically, they're not leaving you and be like, no, fuck you, leave me alone. But they are that grounding force. And so, right, clients will come to the office with me and you. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I'm getting supported, validated, affirmed. I'm getting challenged. I'm getting coached on things. I can say whatever I want. It feels like a friendship, right? But we're not friends. Very friendly. It's a conversation. This whole scene makes me think of just clients in general. It makes me think when you have to say goodbye to them or terminate them off of your roster because they've progressed enough. They're like, but wait, like I still got some shit, and, and I need you once a month now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, girl, you don't need me. If it's once a month, you're good. We have created you into the woman that you wanted to be. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me think of that. The grounding of force that some folks can be as friends. They could be older folks. A lot of people love their grandparents. A lot of folks know that if you're with your parents, some of them are shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like me and my pops, when I was younger, as long as he was in the house, like I was like, shit's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in the house, and like I'm with mom, I'm like, it's gonna get interesting. It's just a couple minutes until she loses it.
Mm-hmm.
Pop is around, everyone just quiets, and it's like this is power. This is power. And the cool thing is I'm now that person. When people know when I walk into a classroom, therapist office, the sports team, the field, right? They're just like, oh, okay, we're good. We're good now.
Yeah.
Some of my men of color will they feel a little weird around me because they're like, oh shit, now it's gonna make us cry again. I see you, Bobby. Good running, motherfucker.
Right, Bobby. Well, okay.
Yeah. So soft ass. So that's just what it made me think about the client therapist relationship and also just like good friends. So I'm gonna kick it to y'all. Who are those grounding people for you before we get into the next scene? Who's that? You better not say your clients. You already used that one now. And
I already used that one. Yeah.
Who's your grounding people? It could be an animal too.
Yeah. I kind of want to. I'm gonna answer your
Go
question,
ahead.
but I kind of want to nerd out a little bit on you real quick, if I can,
Yeah.
before I answer your question. So I've talked a lot about the nervous system, right? And basically, that central nerve running down through it is called the vagus nerve,
Yep.
and it's kind of like our threat level system. So like one, it has three strands. One runs down all the way down to your stomach. So if you're like having like this majorly anxious moment and you kind of feel it in your stomach and you feel completely frozen,
Yep.
almost like a fawn response, like just out of body experience, like maybe this is where you would disassociate. That's like, oh man, like my body signaling a really strong threat response. The second strand kind of runs in your chest area, and that's where you kind of have this fight or flight mode. It's kind of where you feel like you have options, you're not completely frozen. So it'd be kind of like a moderate threat level where like this makes me anxious, but I'm not
Okay.
immobilized. I feel like I have choices. But the third strand is the really cool one that I feel like you're describing. It's the one that runs like back in your base stem, the stem of your brain. And that's the one that's triggered when you feel safe. And most of the time, that's triggered when you're around somebody safe or even thinking about somebody safe. And so
Yes.
it's not just about that person, it's just like in your body, it's signaling a safety response. Um, and it's actually regulating your nervous system. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Sorry, like when you were describing just how you felt with certain people or how certain people feel with you, I was like, yeah, like
There's
that's that
certain
vagus nerve in action. Um,
there's certain people, man. Like I said, the client I was with this week when I was gassing her up, we just was in there just laughing. We was laughing. I was so happy to see them laugh. I damn near start crying. Because that's
hmm.
the type of person that she is. So yeah, that's awesome. So who's the brain is the Geppetto here, and the strings, and we're the puppets. Like who's Geppetto? Ain't no one controlling me.
Who's my Geppetto? I mean, for me, like my Geppetto, I mean, one of them is God. Like I do feel a
Okay,
connection, like a spiritual connection, and so
faith.
that grounds me. Um, I have a really good, solid group of friends. My partner also, just when I'm with them, I'm just like I can kind of chill, just kind of relax. Yeah, so I would say that that's kind of my center
Some big ones.
that kind of signals that third vagus nerve that just kind of ah
There you go, folks.
yeah yeah.
Spence, what you got? What is it? It can't be me.
No, definitely not. You put me on edge. The fuck?
You look good in them shorts, boy.
Like, uh-oh. Gotta keep my guard up. It won't get me sleeping. Not this time.
Jesus Christ.
Not this time. Definitely my mom up there. Just for like protection wise and stuff like that. Because I feel like she'll take lead on stuff and don't have any pressure of that. Definitely Dom. Always relaxed when I'm with her. Just can just chill and not, worry about anything. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough sometimes because it's like I, especially like when sometimes I try to have that like connection with people to where I'm like I'm comfortable with them, and I think I am, and then it just
Weird.
doesn't feel the same.
Yep.
Doesn't feel the same. Just feels like, it feels like it's forced, like forcing it, kind of.
Yep.
And it's just yeah, like at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, ugh. I don't feel as relaxed as I should be. I'm a lot more tense
Yeah, it's
when
not
I'm
there
around
yet.
other people.
Yep.
So yeah.
Not there yet.
What about you, Nas?
I was gonna say an interesting thing about Dom. Dad said something. We was talking about a different person, and I ain't gonna say that person name. But then we talked about, we was talking about Moses and Spence and their partners, right? So Spence probably knows where I'm going with that.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then we were talking about Dom. I said Dom's awesome, man. I just don't. His partner is just just nice and kind and funny. It's like a goofiness, the weird, nerdy. Also, I like teasing her, so she's anxious too. I like anxious people. That's what it is. I like anxious
She's
people.
very anxious.
Uh,
Yeah, you really go the extra mile to get her even more like she's already anxious as a person. You push it to like as far you do what I do. I just push to the limit. just,
This
just
poor
to the
girl.
girl,
This poor girl.
girl, you
I
can do
know.
better than us. She can do better than
She's
us.
fine. She's fine.
Girl, run.
Go get away as far as you can.
I sent her some reels in the last couple weeks of just weird stuff in the gym. She said, "Stop sending me these."
Yeah, you're fine.
Because I know that she gets really, she's heightened sensory stuff. So,
Oh yeah, totally. But
sorry,
yeah,
Dom.
she always gets calm, and it's always just relaxed whenever I'm around her.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually relaxed around you, and I can just say really dumb shit,
We're good.
and you're gonna laugh. Or it's just she does what Pops does. It's just that,
Yeah, she does do that.
just that like,
Yeah. I was just watching a podcast that we did because I was just randomly was watching it, and it was one where me and you were just like, obviously Pops is a lightning rod there, right? For him, it's either hot or heavy, though, right? It's either hot or cold. I meant, sometimes you come in there with lightning, burn the whole place down. Most of the time it's chill. Always been a protector. Colin is one of them. My best friend that I'm with now, right? It's just we can just sit there and do nothing, and everyone acts like we're weird because we can do nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
And we can go to the grocery store and just be happy as pigs and shit, where everyone else has to like do things to be happy.
Right.
Spencer would be one of them. Moses is for sure one of them. It's my other boy. It's just a short list that like legit ground you. And like I said, every once in a while, there's some clients that like ground me. There's short list. And
I know, like you're one of my only few guy friends. Like,
yeah.
If like I have very few guy friends because it's just it's hard to relax around certain people because they don't get like my jokes and like, oh, what a weirdo. I'm like,
also there's that because me and you are a little inappropriate, but also there's a lot of weird masculinity shit that gets in the way with men relating to each other. And I don't play that game, right? I mean, I'll be as masculine as there is, and then like I'll go run up on you and I ain't gonna say no stab words, but I'll run up on you. And also like I'll run up on you and give you a hug and cry with you. So right, I'm just like my dad. Hey, call me, we going to prison, call me, we gonna have a good cry.
There you go.
We might be in prison.
either one. We in prison and we're crying.
Hey, but they ain't gonna never fuck with you again. So
again.
Yeah.
Hey, that one time I let it slide, but don't do it again.
Yeah, I got him. Someone pause. Shout out to Serena and Vicky, our old podcast guests that were always on, right? They had some kids moving, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Therapists, wonderful people. So Spencer put out a reel of me not getting this massive job and some weird dynamics and weird stuff that went on behind my back. That played into me not getting this massive director job. A lot of folks on the podcast already heard that pod. Shout out to Vicky and Serena being like, who we need to be that? Whose ass we need to be? I'm like, stop. You're a therapist.
You are professionals.
You got kids. Girl, you
no
just
stabbing here.
Girl, you just had twins. You cannot go to jail.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. I love having friends like that. So actually, I forgot. Those people are like that too. I got a handful of friends.
Yeah.
Then one last story, and I'm done. Okay. I posted that same thread on Threads, and it was about being autistic and how people are messing up diagnoses because you make eye contact, and they say you're not autistic because of that. So stupid. And one of the persons said, "Well, this is awesome to see how you've become as a person, and that's super successful. How have you done it?" And I just posted in there, loved ones. Almost every phase in my life, people have looked at me like, I'm going to go a different way. Looked at me like you're shit, you're terrible, you're worthless, you're disabled, you can't read, you're bad. And then there's been a massive amount of people on the other side. Professors, teachers, aunts, uncles, friends that have surrounded me. I don't get here unless it's my friends, period. I don't think anyone in life gets to where they need to be without connection, with Heidi talked about. There's no way. But specifically, people saw something in me, which I never seen. And they're like, this guy. Me? Yeah. You. Oh, okay. I think it's pretty cool for folks to hear my success story and not to have to live up to my success story, because I'm still going to places. I'm still doing shit. Like Heidi said, this is the pinnacle right now, but we're still moving. So like when you get your practice nice and big, ton of clients, right? You're doing more talks, whatever you want to do, right? I mean, that'll be even cool. Right? I'm even thinking about maybe your kid and how they understand and mental and intellectualize you and what you do. I'm thinking about all the women that intellectualize about what you do and your clients, right? And right, they're feeding from you. I'm thinking about those things.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people feed from us, and then we feed from a lot of others. The moral of the story is none of us get this shit done unless we're connected to someone.
Absolutely.
That could be through family, trauma, friends. It's a bunch of different shit. A lot of mine were through friends/trauma bonds. All my friends from high school, shit ton of trauma. We ain't making it together unless we're friends with each other. That's straight up. Like Moses was there when my pops needed him. My pops was like, hey man, I'm gonna get killed if you don't come. Moses was like, let's go. He's like, you might die too. Moses was like, let's go.
We both gonna die. Let's go.
Bro, that's why Moses is my dad's favorite. No one will ever replace him as the favorite.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't trying to die.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no.
I'm running.
Moses walked into
that way.
Moses walked into the place and the dude just ran and left. I'm in college, so my big ass couldn't be there. Besides the point. You gotta have people in your corner, man. Maybe not like Moses. That motherfucker's crazy. Hey, shout out detective now, changing her life around. Hey, Marine.
Crazy. I love how you just called him fucking crazy, and then you're just like detective.
Hey, shit he told me today, and the people that he's busting and getting off the streets, like legit fucked up people. Yeah.
Look, I would probably be crazy too if I was doing his fucking job.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when you introduce somebody like, hey, this crazy motherfucker over here has a badge.
A badge. Hey,
I don't want to hear that.
He'll kill for you though. He'll kill for you.
All right.
Okay. Last scene. Heidi's like, what the hell? We from the streets, Heidi. We from the streets.
Flint.
Oh man.
She's like, I'm just from Ecuador. You know, we don't want no trouble.
Yeah, we don't want no trouble. We don't want no trouble.
Hey.
We got enough trouble.
We're neutral. We're neutral here.
We'll find you.
All right. Anyways, last scene is the end of the movie where Marlin, Nemo, Dory, everyone's coming together, and it's just a happy ending, right? Went through all that shit.
I love a happy ending.
Crazy ass fucking Captain fucking Fish. Everyone came together. It's great.
Yeah.
Right. And so we really get to see all these different people, all these different types of fish come together and be happy in the end because of the anxiety, right? It's like you probably wouldn't have met these sharks that don't want to eat fish unless, you went on a crazy trip to find your son in Australia. So
anxiety, it cured racism.
It cured racism. That's the name of this podcast. Anxiety. It cured racism.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, there it goes.
There it is.
Bubble.
Shout out Obama.
Oh, God. He did it. He did it.
That son of a bitch. All right. Continue.
Clever girl. All right. Anyways. Why did you want to do this scene? Why did you want to do this scene? And I mean, can we, with anxiety, have these happy endings?
Yeah. So I wanted to I feel like the scene is such a good contrast to the opening scene,
Right.
where it goes from micromanaging and controlling and not wanting to go on this big adventure to, "Come on, son, you're gonna be late. It's time for school. Let's go." And they're racing, right, to get there. Um, and it just shows the power of how learning to work with your anxiety can change you and cause you to be brave and cause you to make all these amazing connections. And so, yeah, I just thought it was the perfect recap of, yeah, the whole journey.
Mm.
I think folks definitely keep in mind that how excited Nemo was in the beginning, but scared, and how excitement and anxiety can feel the same right within the body because the nervous system's kind of on fire. And then you see him be confident. Like you see the confidence in the father and the son. It allows you to build up the personality, the identity, the ego strength of who you are. But you can't run from anxiety, as the therapist here was talking about. You need to kind of work through it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cure no one of their anxiety. I'm trying to learn how to live with it. So that way, when it comes up, you don't go into a shame spiral on how broken you are, how it's never going to go away. We know it's going to be a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
And the biggest fallback is you dealt with it before, you'll deal with it again. You'll deal with it before, you'll deal with it again. This is not the battlefield where you die. This anxiety attack, this panic attack, this anxious spiral about your career, your partner, or friend issues, right? This is not where you die. And I don't know, Spence, that scene from The Good Dinosaur will always be forever stuck in my head. It's on the other side of fear. Everything that you seek is just on the other side of fear. And you just got to get to the other side. So we see Nemo, we see the whole family. Everyone's happy as pigs and shit. They're all there swimming around, enjoying each other. So
What an analogy.
when was this movie shot? This was shot like in 2000 what?
2003, I think.
So we've caused a lot more pollution since then. So most of those fish are dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
It's just Heidi got so sad.
I know. The poor fishes. They're dead. No.
Marlon's dead.
Just ruined my day.
Just like his wife, dead.
Girl. In the end, they all died.
Everyone you love will die.
See those turtles gone. Fucking.
We need to talk about how those turtles were high as shit.
Yeah, of course. They were surfer turtles, dude.
Totally.
It's total stereotype.
They were off of that seaweed.
Well, autism joke of the day.
I did it, Dad. Where are you?
Are you proud of me?
Where did you go, Dad? What? Come on.
My God. I love that you put this scene in there. It's one of those things where you see the build up and then it makes you want to cry because of happiness and joy.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say, I feel like a lot of folks will see good endings like this, or a parental relationship, and they'll want that. I had a client the other day said that they cried during like Barbie, because of the relationship between the mother, the Chicana, and then her daughter, and how they're going through stuff and struggling, but she's there.
Yeah.
And she said, I just want my mother to be there. Right. And she can't. So this story, right, the ending where everyone's like happy, there's people that know that they might not ever get that. There's some people that have gotten it and are so grateful that it breaks them to tears. Burst into tears. Wonderful scene. Remember, folks, it's going to be on the other side. Be cautious on covering things up with a Band-Aid, like, alcohol, drugs, distractions all the time. Distractions are cool to get you regulated and to regulate that nervous system like Heidi talked about. But eventually we have to work through the anxiety and like face it. We can't always run.
Right.
So I just want to end with that. Heidi, you got anything you want to talk about at all at the end here when it comes to the movie or just therapy in general?
I would just say, just as an overview, anxiety doesn't mean you're malfunctioning. It doesn't mean you're broken. We all experience anxiety. And it's there to protect us either from a threat or it's there to lead us to connection. or it's there to remind us, hey, you've got too many things on your plate,
Yep.
or it's there to tell us to slow down, or it's there to tell us, hey, this thing that you're about to do scares you and you need a little extra reassurance. You need to kind of practice some different positive self-talk, right? You need to watch how you're talking to yourself. So many different positive things that anxiety can bring us if we start to listen to it instead of fighting it. And so that the biggest of which is find that connection, find that person, right? If it wasn't your parent growing up, and you long for that, find somebody that can be a surrogate to that for you. Because it's there, it's out there, and it makes a huge, huge difference.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So, Heidi, where can people find you at, and where can they find your book?
Yeah. So you can find me or my book at HeidiDennisLPC.com or on my Instagram, Heidi Dennis LPC at Heidi Dennis LPC. Yeah, you can find my book there. It links to Amazon as well. So yeah,
Okay.
All right.
come find me.
We'll find you.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
don't worry. Did my research.
Yeah.
Found you.
Yeah, I found you.
You found me.
Yeah, ain't no one gonna find you ever after we find you.
I know your taxes. Jesus.
Where Moses at?
Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Do some
Am I gonna
investigating.
end up in jail? No.
Well,
No, we gonna
well.
go to jail. You gonna be dead.
Oh, okay. Okay. That took a turn.
It took a turn. It took a turn.
And so we found that. We found your ceiling there. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Heidi, for coming on to the show. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Great guest.
Please don't kill me.
No promises. All right. Anyways, thank
Hey.
you, everybody, for watching. I'm Spencer. That's not his Different Spectrums podcast.
Shout out to Toxic Masculinity.
I'm just gonna
No.
last pod. Nice.
Everyone, much love. And remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
That's completely up to you. Peace. I'm leaving it in
Unless
there.
you're murdered.
I'm leaving it in there. All right.
Let's not murder. Y'all are awesome.
Heidi, you're safe.